Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. It's war number 7 of season 51. Today we have a matchup against SGA. They are sitting in the number 4 position, I think, right now. We are still sitting in the number 1 spot, so a very important war for both alliances. Chavez, Black Cat, and for the first time, rank 3 Beta Ray Bill coming to war. He had just come out, I think, that day or the day before. Ranked him up almost immediately, and then asked if I could bring him in for a future Ant-Man fight, so looking forward to showing you that. First up, we are on path 3. We have a MANGOG here on node 3. Nothing going on here with the nodes. We took a MANGOG in the previous war. This is essentially the same fight, but without the threat of him going permanently, not permanently, but unblockable and regenning from whatever that node is. So we're trying to keep up, again, multiple copies of the negative zone just to manage his natural power gain. I think we do have to worry in this fight about him triggering his enraged mode, so we do kind of have to keep a special banked. And in fact, like I see at one point, I noticed that his next special one is going to give him that rage, so I intentionally don't use a special attack and kind of keep it banked. So right here, I am running Mystic Power Back boosts. So that gives me a nice special back from the special 2. And right here, I notice that his next special one is going to give him enrage. He's already at a bar of power, so I do a full heavy here to get negative zone up. He goes unblockable and unstoppable, and now from here we're just going to special intercept him. That's going to remove his unstoppable. Don't really have to worry about the energy resistance for the moment because that special one is physical damage, and then another combo finishes him off. So pretty easy fight with Chavez. Alright, next up, Node 12, Future Ant-Man, Beta Ray Bill, and this is honestly one of like the first fights I've ever taken with Bill. So we're going to pulverize his armor with the first medium attack. That does trigger the special lock, but from here we can't glance as long as we have that steady buff, so we're kind of safe from his arm reps for the time being. Building up clarity with parries and a couple light attacks. Baiting out this special one, make a mistake here, try to punish that special from too far away. That cost me a little bit of health. That's really the only like big mistake I make in this fight. And then from here, the power gain that triggered when the power detonation expired almost brought us up to 3 bars. Heavy charging in the corner here, and then canceling to the special 2. That's going to place a bunch of passive shocks on future Ant-Man. And then from here, all we need to do is try and time our special 1 so that the shocks expire while the special 1 animation is finished. Unfortunately, I was like half a second too early on my special 1, so we just instead refresh the shocks, which is fine because the next special 1 we do a little bit better job of timing on, and he's going to die before the animation is done. Really, really easy fight. It's incredible how simple Future Ant-Man is with Beta Ray Bill, and I'm looking forward to using him in many more fights to come. Alright, next up we are on path 8 in section 2. We have a MODOK on 26. Nothing going on here with the nodes. Just a very easy Black Cat fight. Going to parry heavy to build up clarity. And then from there, it's just, you know, hit him until he falls over, which doesn't take long. Without the threat of auto block, MODOK really has nothing going for him here. So, baiting out this special 1. I don't really like pushing him to his special 2. I find the timing is fine, but the punishing of the special 2 I find less fine, so I usually just stick with the special 1. Doing a nice bit of damage here. I love Black Cat's crits, are just so satisfying to see. Popping off that sabotage debuff, and now every time his auto block fails, we will be dealing additional damage, and one more combo gets him down. Alright, next up we have a GORR on 35. I've taken this fight many, many times with Chavez. Very, very simple fight with her. Again, I've talked a lot recently in that Chavez guide about how important her negative zone is to reduce and eventually reverse ability power rate, and this is a fantastic example of that. So normally GORR would be gaining quite a bit of power in this fight because he has access to so many buffs, but as long as we have 2 stacks of the negative zone up, he will actually be losing power. So just 2 heavies at the start of the fight, and you basically have this fight on lockdown. I started with an APB just so that I could get to my special 2 faster, and it ends up killing him in one go. So really quick, really easy fight. Alright, last fight of the war for me is another fight that I've taken before. This is a Maestro on 40 with high energy diet. So the deal here is that Chavez's basic attacks are all physical, her special 1 is physical, her special 2 is energy damage. So in this fight you can basically do whatever you want except for the special 2. So the tricky part of this fight is kind of managing your own power level, right? Because with all 3 of your dimensions active, you are going to be increasing your attack rating by quite a bit. However, every time you launch your special 1, then you are risking pushing yourself over 2 bars, and that's not the end of the world if you do that, because then you'll just have to push all the way to your special 3 and then kind of reset from there. So a lot of special spam in this fight with the special 1, and as he gains buffs, we are also going to be gaining attack from that. So this is really just it's a long fight, a patient fight, but relatively straightforward with Chavez. You are assuming at some point in this fight that he is going to trigger Superior Rage, and when that happens, as you'll see it happen in this fight, you just kind of have to back off and let all of his neutronium expire, because you really want to minimize the amount of radiation damage that you take. Right here, really dangerous. If I had taken a hit from this special 1, it would have pushed me over 2 bars, nailed the dex, and again, reset my power with the special 1. So yeah, you can kind of see what I'm doing here, just really keeping one eye on my own power meter. Right here, he's in Superior Rage. I hadn't noticed until I got rooted on that special 1, so at this point, I'm just backing off. He doesn't have bar of power, so we don't really risk getting rooted again and taking additional radiation damage. Dumped my power there just so I, could kind of reset myself. At this point, Superior Rage has ended, and we are good to kind of restart the flow of the fight over again. So he's at, 35% left. And the fight is basically on lockdown at this point. It's kind of like the fight has started over, but he is missing most of his health pool. I actually don't know at any point here that I activate all 3 dimensions. I've been, as I'm kind of watching this back editing, I'm noticing, keeping one eye on the dimensions, and I don't think I activated all of them at any one point. Yeah, so yeah, pretty straightforward fight. You can choose to play it a little bit differently if you prefer the SP3. Again, I like to keep the kind of like the flow of the fight going, and there we go. So, unfortunately, we did not win this war. Shout out to SGA. 5 kills for me, 0 deaths, and our record falls to 6-1 on the season. This almost certainly puts GT in line for us in war number 8. Given how I suspect the matchmaking has been working this and last season. So I'm expecting to face them in the next war. So we'll see how that one goes. Folks, if you enjoyed this one, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. See you again next time.